Has Animal Crossing gotten worse? Each new Animal Crossing game adds new features, but it also takes away some mechanics as a result, and it kind of changes up the charm of the game. The most notable transformation that we've seen is between New Leaf and New Horizons. New Leaf concentrated more on collection and villager interactions, whereas New Horizons concentrates on decoration, which I guess is still collection, I suppose, but furniture collection rather than like fish and bugs. And the villagers are more like cute dolls that are kind of there, but almost for no reason other than just looking pretty. There are substantial differences between the two games, but are they worse? I guess that depends who you ask, but let's break it down. I like to separate the Animal Crossing games into two different eras. The first 4 installments were definitely a part of the collection era. The whole goal of the game is to pay off your house. But the second goal of the game is to collect all the fish and bugs. You make money, you collect things, and you get accosted by your villagers for wearing the wrong hat or whatever they decide to bully you for that day. The beginning games are very simple, very straightforward. Each release got more complicated as time went on, but the basic gameplay stayed the same. Like Wild World added more complicated flower mechanics like breeding and wilting flowers, new buildings like the Roost, multiplayer, character customization, also you could kind of change your hair, and placing custom designs on the ground to attempt to customize your town a little bit more. City Folk added a bunch of stuff, but most notably a whole city. New Leaf concentrated on more multiplayer options, the beginnings of outside decoration, and expanded a lot on customization both with the player character and in your town and house. But the main gameplay was still paying off your house and collecting items. Each of these 4 games were very similar, but New Leaf was definitely the game where the developers tried to throw all of their ideas into one. It really took the original ideas of the Animal Crossing games and pretty much went as far as they could with them. And then we made a seemingly huge jump to New Horizons. New Horizons feels like a completely different game, because it is. There's more decoration, more customization, more furniture, more control, and then crafting, obviously. Not to mention the mechanics that the community took and exploited like crazy, like villager hunting. Love it or hate it, we can all agree that there is a huge jump in gameplay between New Horizons and New Leaf. It feels like a completely different experience, and that's because the two games do vary drastically. However, the basic idea of Animal Crossing is still there. You are paying off your house, you're filling the museum, you're talking to villagers, you're decorating your house. But there's more of a concentration in New Horizons on terraforming and crafting and outside control and town control. Those basic ideas are still there. You can still play Animal Crossing the way you always have, but when you go online and see people doing amazing things like this, you, or I guess I in this situation, I feel like I'm not playing the game as well as I should be, you know what I mean? I feel inferior. I'm not as good at decorating as this person, so why should I even bother? I started playing New Horizons the way that I'm used to playing Animal Crossing, the collection era and villager interaction. And it's somehow just not what it used to be. I don't know if I'm older or if the developers just spent so much of their time expanding on the new mechanics that the old ones got ignored, but it doesn't scratch that same itch that I got with the past Animal Crossing games. So I just instead started trying to get better at decorating and enjoying the villager hunting too much. And I found that I really liked the new mechanics of New Horizons. But to satisfy that typical Animal Crossing experience, I went back to play New Leaf. I mean, what's a better game to go back to feel like you're playing Animal Crossing? And then I realized that all of the basic New Horizons mechanics were there, but they were just like extremely simple versions of what we can do now. We had very basic customization with Cyrus, annoyingly difficult outside decoration with the public works projects, which took me forever to get villagers to ask for the one thing that I wanted to place outside, some materials with a bit of crafting, and still very doll-like villagers. I don't really see a difference between the villagers of New Leaf and New Horizons personally. The only thing New Leaf has that New Horizons didn't transform or make better: multiplayer. New Leaf did have the mini games and stuff, which was really fun. I could play with random people online and have a great time. You can't really do that with New Horizons. For me, New Leaf is like the Wii U and New Horizons is the Switch. The basic form of the idea is there, For the Wii U, we have a handheld screen that can also kind of go on the TV, but then the Switch just came around and did it all better. We have like the basic idea of everything with New Leaf, and then New Horizons was like, no, this is how it should have been done. But that's just my opinion. I'm sure you can scroll down to the comments and find countless people explaining why New Leaf is better. But at the end of the day, it's all about your taste in games, why you play games in the first place. So I guess the crux of this video, will the next game fall into this decoration era, or will we go back to a simpler gameplay that we know and love? I personally think taking away any mechanics that we already have, whether it's crafting or terraforming, villager hunting, it would be a step backwards. You can't take these practically main mechanics away from us. I now can't imagine a future Animal Crossing game without crafting. They wouldn't feel like an improvement. I do believe that New Leaf was the epitome of the original Animal Crossing idea. They threw everything at us, expanded everything as much as they could on what we already had. Continuing along this path, it would have been boring. They would have just been more of the same. What else could they have done? New Leaf did it all and then some. New Horizons was the pivot that the series really needed. I can always go back and play the old games. I know it's so annoying when people say that because you want your new game to just be what you want it to be. I do occasionally load up my GameCube Animal Crossing save just to enjoy this feeling and some nostalgia. But yeah, it doesn't mean that we can't be upset if the new game isn't up to our standards. Hopefully Nintendo has heard our likes and dislikes of New Horizons. I truly do think New Horizons is better than New Leaf. I'm sorry, I am in that camp. But maybe instead of the new game being a part of the decoration era, it'll be its own era. Who knows? I have faith that we'll get something good. I am looking forward to another addiction. What's your favorite mechanic in New Horizons? What do you hope returns? Let me know down below, subscribe, or your bananas will turn brown overnight. And I'll see you next time. Bye!